It's a special guest Saturday on the Draft Ranking Show. I'm Cody Carpentier, joined by my main man, Matty Kiwoom. Matty Kiwoom over at southharmonff.com. You can go check him out on Twitter at Matty Kiwoom. And today, we're going to do a little boom bust. One wide receiver in this class that Matty thinks is going to go boom, and one that big media loves right now, but he may just have the word bust in his wiki profile in a few years. Matty Kiwoom, how you doing?
Doing good, man. And I don't know, is it boom bust or are we obligated now to go boom and doom? Like, are we obligated to make everything that way?
I mean, if we're gonna do that, I think we got to shoot the show from Costco. But
Yeah, yeah. One day, my friend, next time we link up, we are going to find a Costco and we are going to do a fantasy football boom or doom from a Costco. And if I see any of you pipsqueaks do this before we get to it, I'm coming for you.
they got enough couches in there. I think we could probably find. My Costco. I don't want to get off on this because we can get off onto this, but my Costco just started selling these cold plunges, cold tubs, the blow
Yo,
up cold tubs,
affordable.
affordable, like 100,
Yeah.
was $150, $100,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And I'm like, man, we could sit in that thing and do it. Anyway, we're not going to do this. Let's talk about it, Matty. Let's talk about boom bust. Who's one player in this 2025 NFL draft class that you think can go boom?
So for me, it's Kyle Williams from Washington State, 5'10", buck 80. I think he's going to run really, really quick at the combine. I'm excited to see him in Indianapolis here soon enough. But what really jumps out was kind of the analytical profile last year. I mean, he was a 20-point fantasy game guy in college. He had over 100 targets at Wazoo. He was 8th in yards per reception, top 10 in yards per run. He kind of checks all the boxes. And then we saw him down in Mobile. He didn't pull the Tank Dell. He didn't pull the Roman Wilson from a year ago, or the Lad McConkey, of course. But, he ran some really nasty routes. He was able to kind of get separation in short yardage situations, which I think is big for a player of this caliber. So for me, he's not looking like he's going to get tremendous draft capital, which will, of course, will make him a sleeper. But I think he's got the speed, and I think he's going to have the ability to make plays in the kick return game, potentially. That'll get him on the field early on. And sometimes we've seen it, right, Cody? Like, getting on the field as a rookie is very, very important. It allows you to kind of take hold of opportunities when they're kind of presented in short order. So for a guy like this, he could land on a high passing volume team and it become something for that roster as early as his rookie season, and maybe even look as to be a fantasy reliable player here, in his second year.
I was impressed with him. I hadn't watched him. I had watched like 27 or 28 receivers before the Senior Bowl. Kyle Williams was not one of them. And you texted me the day before because you weren't going to come down to Mobile, and you said, keep an eye on Kyle Williams or take care of him or something like this for me. And I read it and I was like, God damn it, I don't think I've watched him. And I think I meant to reply to you, and I don't think I did. And then after a day or two, I think I texted you back and I was like, hey, this kid's pretty solid. I liked what he brought to the table. So I was, you had the up on me on there, but I was drafting the other day on Fast Draft. If you don't know, there's an app called Fast Draft from Player Profiler. Matt Kelly's made it. Kyle Williams right there. I got 15%. It's horribly readable right there, but I got 15% Kyle Williams. I've got him twice. And his ADP is like 55. If you want to go over there and draft, it's the only place you can draft best ball rookies, rookie only. So use the promo code Cody and get a double up, whatever. Kyle Williams though, it's I got him ahead of you. Why didn't you take him ahead of me?
I don't think I was in that draft.
Well, you got the one we did.
I think I've had to tap out. I think I forgot. I pulled one of those Kiwoom specials where I signed up, waited, and then it was time to go. I was doing something else. I don't know, but I know that I wouldn't have let that happen had I been in there.
5.
They're called fast draft for a reason. It is fast. It's good, but it's bad if you're sleeping on it like me, and I must have been doing something else.
One player that I don't have a single share of, and to me, it's not that I think he's overrated, but I do have a question for you. Tetairoa McMillan has been put in ink, stamped, sealed, sent, shipped, booked, everything as a top 10 player in the NFL draft. And it's almost a shoo-in that Tetairoa McMillan is just foregone conclusion. He's the guy. And this happens generally, right? Like, last year for the majority of the process, it was Marvin Harrison Jr. until people started being vocal about it, right? And then Malik Neighbors started really entering that conversation. They both obviously go top 10 as well as Rome Odunze. The 2023 class, there really wasn't a clear-cut uno. Jackson Smith and Jigbo was the first off the board, but it was tight. Drake London with Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. I think I vividly remember like Drake London was, I can't even remember if he was looked at as the pure number one, but more so what I'm getting to is Tenero McMillan got a little bust on him? Because he's an athlete. Don't get me wrong. He's long, he's lanky, he's got extreme games that he played at Arizona, 300 plus yards. And I think he brings a lot to the table. But I think that a lot of people are out there, especially on X, driving Tenero McMillan based on this one clip that's got like 300 million views of him going up and catching it one arm between the legs and things like this. And the rare movement, rare abilities, rare this, rare that. It's like, I don't think he's rare. I think he's a good receiver.
Yeah, for me, Tet McMillan, and I got to give a big shout out to our boy Mike, the Teardown King, McNutted, the GOAT. He kind of put the seed in my head when we were talking about it on our podcast 4D Chess, so you can get it at South Harmon's podcast network. And the seed just kind of grown as I've watched more and more film. I don't think he's a bad receiver, like you said. The word bust, I think, now comes out of my mouth because of the ADP that he's getting in rookie mocks. And then also good draft analysts are thinking he should be selected. And that, for me, is dangerous game. I mean, we're hearing that on the draft side of things, that the Patriots would be smart to take him at 4 overall. And I'm sorry, I think that would be a historically bad pick. It would be a pick that could set them back tremendously, given their concerns all over the field. And I don't know if Tet McMillan is Mike Evans. Analytical profile, but that's what people are talking about, Cody. That is how this man's being spoken about, because Mike Evans was a talent that, was 11th overall, wherever he went. It was inside the first round, obviously. It was 11th, 20th, something like that. It's a big range. But anyway, that size and ability has kind of been chased now since he came out, and we've seen it fail time and time again, unless you want to say Quentin Johnston's no longer a bust because he was decent last year. But the profile looks good. The analytics look good. The stats were good. That's why I had him as my clear number one wide receiver in the class. But as I've watched more and more film, it's nothing that I can necessarily glare to overall. But as you watch these clips and these cut-ups of the success and the failures while he's on the field, you start to notice, is he going to be able to win consistently against outside cornerbacks in this day and age in the NFL? Because he was used in the slot. You see a lot of his big plays come from the slot. And you start to say, is this guy just one of those big slot players that can't truly play outside the hashes and dominate outside on the boundaries? And if that is the case, he will bust given his ADP and where people think he's going in the NFL draft. I happen to mock him, 15 on. I think we see this class overall being like it was that Zay Flowers, JSN, Quentin Johnston class where it was 20, 21, 22, bing, bang, boom. And that's why I think Tet McMillan right now is being anointed as like the fantasy rookie running receiver, that guy that can really solidify as the 102 in one QB formats. And I'm not here to say that I've since moved him down in my ranks. I think Luther Burden is my one. He is right now my number 2 receiver. So again, I don't think he's bad, but that also leaves out Travis Hunter. If Travis Hunter was like, I'm going to be a receiver and make more money in this league, Travis Hunter is my number 1 wide receiver with a bullet. And I would even say he might be my 101 in one QB format rookie drafts.
There it is. Tenero McMillan. Could he potentially be a bust? I don't know, but I think we do like Kyle Williams as a boom. Tenero McMillan by one of our favorite college football analysts, Joe Klatt. He was mocked 19th overall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll see what happens with that. But he is Matty Kiwoom. I'm Cody Carpentier. We'll be back with another maybe special guest Sunday. We'll see if Matty wants to stick around for that. You can go follow him at Matty Kiwoom on X. You can follow me on Twitter at Cody Carpentier. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And we'll see you on the next one.